Welcome to the We Got Notes podcast, hosted by your cinema connoisseurs. That includes myself, Shawn, that's Shawn Edwards, and my girl, Fahnia Thomas. Now, check this out. This is the only spot with two certified, I'm talking about two certified film critics in the building, offering uninhibited and jocular chats about film and television.
Hey, that's right, Shawn. Each month, we'll bring you stories from sets, tales from behind the scenes, and movie reviews, plus some TV thoughts from the latest releases. Because we got notes. So chill out, grab a snack, and vibe with us. And if you got notes, let us know. Drop them in the comments. We might read some.
Welcome back to another fun episode of the We Got Notes podcast with Fahnia Thomas and Shawn Edwards. Today, we're going to go down Lover's Lane and break down Hard Eyes.
I love it. I love it. Just in time for Valentine's Day.
Right, episode 13. This is the storyline. Couldn't find the synopsis, but here you go. For the past several years, the Hard Eyes killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. Okay. This film out the gates, it's slaughter, 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 slaughter. I was like, well, damn. Okay, I didn't even get a chance to sip my soda or have a little kernel of popcorn. It was boom, 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 boom. And I am not a huge slasher chick, but this one had some really good actors in it. So I gave it some points for that. Horror films isn't really my niche. Gore and lots of blood and like when the camera lingers on certain body parts that have been dismembered. I don't need all that. I generally go like this, I do that a lot. I listen to the soundtrack of a film to let me know when to open my eyes, when to close my eyes. I love one of the characters. I feel like that's one of the reasons to watch this film. Before I get into
Which one? Don't tip off and not explain. Which character did you love?
I mean, Mason Gooding. Hello, like really? What? Oh. Cuba Gooding Jr., your son is fantastic. Thank you.
Not bad. He's not bad. He's a pretty decent actor.
He's a great actor, and so is Olivia. And he's also easy on the eyes. Like, what? Happy Valentine's Day, ladies and gentlemen, if that's your preference. Woo! Okay. I mean,
full spectrum. Then everybody have a piece.
Yes, everybody gets
some. You're like Baby Oprah. Everybody gets some Mason. You get some Mason. You get some Mason. She gets some Mason. He gets some Mason. I love it.
Google his age because I was like, wait, he could be a little younger, and he's only 28.
You know what? Real quick though, Cuba is a pretty decent actor when he wants to focus.
He is. He is a great actor.
He is an Oscar winner. He is an Oscar winner.
Listen, that's when when your personal life kind of bleeds into your professional life and things get murky. But he is talented. Like you cannot take that away.
He's also good. He's good people. He's fun. I've actually had a chance to hang out with him on several occasions. That's my dude. He's a fun guy. He's a really fun guy. But his son is about to be next level.
Listen, I mean, I never watched Ballers in all of its entirety, but I'm glad that I have now seen Hard Eyes.
Ballers was a very underrated show. Ballers was a very underrated show. If you get a chance to catch up with it, I highly recommend you do. It's a very underrated show. Like I actually think that's the best Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's ever been in anything.
Ooh, okay.
Good in that. John David Washington. It's a solid show. But back to Hard Eyes. Here's the deal for me. Can we finally acknowledge that it's always about horror? Horror has always saved Hollywood. When you can't count on anything else, you can count on the horror genre. The horror genre was popping right after 9/11. People weren't really trying to go to the movies, but people still went to go see horror films. During the pandemic, when people weren't going to do nothing, see nothing, be nowhere, people were still going to see horror movies. Like horror movies are the one thing that's the constant in Hollywood. Horror is always winning, and there's a lot of good stuff. There's a lot. I mean, look, a horror movie just got nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards, The Substance. So finally, thankfully, and if Demi Moore wins Best Actress, like it'd be the first time in a long time an actress won, that was in a horror movie. But no, this movie starts where all slasher movies should start. It's all about the killer's mask. I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically it's basically the heart eyes emoji. You know, and everything about this movie, like if what's the guy's name that does the ancestry show, Dr. Gates? Its DNA is definitely connected to Scream. That entire franchise fingerprint
Yes.
are all over this movie. But that's a really good thing though. That's a really really good thing, and really makes this movie work. And like you mentioned earlier, Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt are really fun together. They actually have a lot of so they make this whole premise work because the killer is basically like, look, I hate couples, I'm killing every single couple, but they're like, no, we're really not a couple. Yeah, they're really not. They're not a couple. They have great chemistry, so you buy in. Like you want to see these two together because they're clicking. There's something
Yes.
there,
The
but they're not officially
chemistry
a couple. There's great chemistry.
is
Great chemistry.
vibrating off the screen. I mean,
Yes,
the
yes,
acting
yes,
in
yes,
this
yes.
film was solid. Hands down, loved it. Rooting for them. There was a moment where I was just like, wait, this doesn't have any rhyme or reason. I'm confused. Because, like, wait, what?
In my opinion, this is why this movie works because Valentine's Day in and of itself can be a really tricky holiday. It's one of those holidays where 50% of the people love it, 50% of the people hate it. This movie leans into that because this movie pokes fun at not only slasher films but also rom-coms, and it does both like very well. So like if you're like pro Valentine's Day, you're gonna like the movie. If you're anti Valentine's Day, you're gonna like the movie because it gives you a little bit of both sides, and it does it really well. But I mean, overall, this movie's it's a really good time, and it bops, it wiggles, it scares, and it does for horror purists. It does get really gruesome, but like I said, it's about the writing's really clever. The premise is it's a really strong premise, but it's Mason Gooding and Olivia Holt who sell this thing, and
Yes.
I thought they delivered. I like the way it poked fun at all the different genres, but at
It
its
was,
core, this is a slasher film. This is a slasher film.
they have it labeled as a romantic comedy slasher. It's out now, by the way, if you guys want to
Yeah,
go see it.
yeah,
I do like the fact that they waited to
yeah,
the end for all of the gushy gore stuff. I mean, there is
yeah.
some sprinkled in
It gets
between and
there.
in and out.
But at the end, they pour it on. But here's the thing I will say about this movie, because yes, this is a horror movie, and Valentine's Day is sort of the backdrop. It does get pretty creative in the kills department, and it's not
Yes.
easy delivering fresh ways to butcher people because we've pretty much seen it all. But this film manages to do that, like in a really interesting and fun way. I mean, this is definitely a movie you want to see at a theater with the crowd, which is the only way you can right now. It's not on VOD yet. You can't watch it at home yet. This is an audience experience movie. You're gonna yell at the screen a little bit. You're gonna like jump in unison with the rest of the people watching. It's got that vibe, but it's a really I thought it's a really cool and interesting movie. And so far, I know the year is young. This is my second favorite movie of the year.
Oh, Shawn, it's too soon, but okay,
I know I just
if
like saying that. I like come on
you do,
hyperbole. I went to the hyperbole store.
you
I
do.
went. I can say it's my second favorite movie so far. I've seen a lot of movies already this year. This is my second favorite one behind One of Them Days.
I agree with you. I gave it points for the storyline, points
Yeah.
for having a bow and arrow. Like, what? We haven't seen that. Come on. You better
But
give
since
me
that
some.
bad, we haven't seen that since that bad Jamie Foxx Robin Hood movie.
Ooh, okay. Listen, I love some old middle-aged weaponry against a modern background. That was clever. Yeah,
It's fun.
I do think this is definitely a film that maybe the teeny boppers were like too for Valentine's Day because they get to
Oh,
be in the dark,
100%.
with their
100%.
date,
Yes, yes.
anyone that wants
It's
to
for them.
grab onto somebody. If you're part of the Lonely Hearts Club, you'll love this film. Like you said, it's for people that like Valentine's Day, don't like Valentine's Day. For me, I would say, hey, that $40 we spend at the theater, give me a nice bottle instead. But again, this is not my. I think this speaks volumes. Slasher
Yeah,
films aren't my niche, but I still enjoyed it. I did get a little lost once it was revealed, like who
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
killer was, and I was
Right,
like,
right.
wait. I knew that one of the officers was involved. I didn't know how, but then like it
But
just
don't
kind
give
of
too much. Yeah, don't give away.
yeah,
Don't
no
give it away.
spoilers,
Yeah, yeah,
no
don't give
spoilers. That's why I made it a
that.
little broad.
Yeah, broad stroke. Props to director Josh Ruben. Right, nice job. How many claps are you dropping on Heart?
Ooh, so I was thinking like two, and I was like, no, three, because the actors deliver, like they're great. So I'm gonna give Hard Eyes 3 claps.
All right, there we go. Fahnia with 3 claps for Heart Eyes. And after all that, after everything we just said, we're on the same page. I'm going 3 claps. No, I mean, just 3 claps. That's solid. That's solid. Three solid. Three is solid. Three out of
Okay.
five. Just so people know the scale. 3 out of 5. It's fair. That's a fair assessment of this very fun, very interesting slasher slash rom-com movie.
Yes, and again, it works because it feeds both audiences, right? I feel like this film is
It
going to
does.
make money. You don't get a lot of Valentine's Day films like this. Has there been a film based off killing as a kink
Yeah, I think I have to take a deep dive. It's
with
original-ish, but it
with
works.
I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but with like multiple. Anyways,
No, that's why I said the kills are fresh. It's funny as hell. So
it is funny, and I do like
funny as hell.
the storyline of like love and how you shouldn't let being afraid of love destroy you or ever love again. For the us hopeless romantics. That's
Yeah.
sweet. That's cute.
It is. It is. All right.
You
Well,
know.
speaking of sweet and speaking of cute and speaking of Valentine's Day, I gotta go there. What would you say is your all-time favorite romantic movie? And give me a little bit about why, and then I'll do mine.
Ooh. Okay, so as someone we watch a lot of films, and I'm someone that likes a lot of things. Like if you were to ask me my love language, all of them depends on the season, the reason, what happened in the morning. So I have to give you like my top three because
All right, that's
you
cool. Look
know,
at you. All right, what's the three? Start with number three. What's the
oof.
three?
Okay. Number three is If Beale Street Could Talk.
Oh, okay. Look at you out the gate with sophisticated romance. Barry Jenkins, man, that's a very, very good film. Right,
Poetic
right.
Justice.
Ooh, that's your number two is Poetic Justice?
Number two is Poetic Justice because
Man,
that was,
Tupac Shakur, Janet Jackson,
come
John Singer.
on. Tupac
Yeah.
Shakur forever, okay?
I,
Forever,
I will
ever.
say this. I have always thought that that title was dope. That's one of my favorite titles.
It's a
Poetic
beautiful title, right? Like, and then of course Love
So I'm sensing
Jones.
the theme. So I'm sensing. Oh, you broke it. I was going to say. So you went if Bill Street could talk, and then you went Poetic Justice. I thought you were about to do the Regina King trifecta. Love Jones has been a classic since the very first time I saw that film. Classic movie, classic cast,
Oh,
classic soundtrack. Like you can still play that soundtrack now.
over and over and watch
And
the
over.
film on repeat. Like those are
Yeah.
the moments. That's the love. That's the feeling.
Well,
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
chemistry you
Yeah.
want. Like,
Oh well, that's
oh,
that's generational chemistry because Nia Long and Lorenz Tate just reunited to do a series of what Walmart commercials together as the characters from that film. When you think all-time classic movie screen couples, like Lorenz Tate and Nia Long automatically and very quickly shoot to the top. Like,
Lorenz Tate, Nia Long, Regina, Tay Diggs.
oh,
Tay Diggs, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, Tay Diggs, Regina, Nia, Lorenz, they were all in that
yeah,
whole.
but so you're saying so when you think all-time classic screen couples, you're going Sanaa Lathan and Tay Diggs alongside Lorenz Tate and Nia Long.
I mean, it'll be Lorenz for me over
I
Tay.
just say the Lorenz Tate Nia Long couple ship to me is a little more believable and stronger than the Taye Diggs, Sanaa Lathan. That's just me, but they're both
Yes.
incredible. When I'm choosing a romantic movie, when I'm like, I'm really trying to get them feels. I'm going in the way back machine. My favorite romantic movie came out in 1974. I'm going Claudine with Diane Curl
Oh.
and James Earl Jones because it was not only did they have tremendous chemistry as well, but that movie was rooted in such realism. It was almost like it was a protest movie because it was like they made all this social commentary about welfare and how the United States government systematically tries to keep black men and black women apart. That whole thing, that whole vibe. I thought it was cool. Like it was like a Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show protest before the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl
Yes, come on, ancestors.
halftime
Come on.
protest. Yeah.
Yes, come on,
No, because
history.
but Gladys Knight and Pips did the soundtrack, which is still very listenable today. It's like one of my all time. It's like one of the best black movie soundtracks ever made. I mean, the performances were great. I mean, I mean, there was so much about this movie that I love, and it's still very watchable today, even though it came out in 1974.
And
So
that's how you know it's good art.
yes, that's how you know it's great art. So I like your list of three. I'm gonna go with my old school classic from 1974. Props to Diane Curl and James Earl Jones, both of them. Rest in peace. But
A
yeah,
piece.
Claudine. But nah, Boomerang. You mentioned Boomerang. Brown Sugar is another one that I love. And of course, you had Love Jones, Poetic Justice. I mean, there's some
Love
great
and basketball. Yeah, there's some good
yeah,
ones.
yeah, just some good ones. There's some
We
good
had
ones.
a time. The black romance films
It's
had a
there. It's
time and an
there. It had a
era. We
time.
need
It had a
that
run.
back.
Yeah, we need that back. No, I 100% agree with you. We need that. We need to make that. We need to run it back. It's been a while. We need
Yeah,
to.
are we not falling in love? What's going on? Hold on.
We are falling in love, but Hollywood ain't giving us the money to tell our stories about falling in love.
Mm,
That's the thing. Like it's hard to get because those are mid-sized movies and they're not going to make 200 million at the box office as you if you produce them, but they may be a little too expensive for streaming, but we need to find our way back. Like cuz there was a run of a bunch of like black themed love stories in like late
yes.
90s, late
Like,
90s, early 2000s but I'm the old school guy. Another one of my favorites, man. Don't sleep on Mahogany with Diana Ross and Billy Dee
ooh,
Williams.
yes.
Not sleep. Speaking of on-screen couples, I mean, they did Mahogany and they did Lady Sings the Blues. Like them are two sexy ass movies. Like just Lady Sings the Blues alone. That one scene where Billy D is trying to give Diana Ross the money is like one of the best scenes ever, 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 ever made in the
Ever,
history of
ever,
cinema.
ever.
Like that, the lighting and the way they blocked it, the juxtaposition between him and her. Shit. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh
Okay,
my
we
god.
know what you watching on Friday.
Man, that movie smokes, man. Oh man, Billy D and Diana Ross. Oh man. Okay, and then you also gotta remember what they were up against when they were making their movies, man. It wasn't, man. It's we used to seeing black folks now on TV and on screen. Back then, it was like a rare occurrence. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Back in action, Jamie Foxx, Cameron Diaz, you brought up a really good point about that film and not letting black men or showing them kissing. Now, Hard Eyes with Olivia and Mason, chemistry off the Richter. There was kissing, there was snuggling, there was
Yes.
romantic talk.
Yes. Yes. That's why that movie did not get slammed. Because I mean, if you're gonna make people, if you're gonna put people in a position where they're going to be a couple, or they could possibly be a couple, or there's some sex appeal or some attraction, you gotta make it real. Like, come on.
Okay, I didn't want to leave that. It came in my mind. I didn't want to leave that off the record.
I got you. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up, and I'm glad they did it the way they did it because otherwise it would have felt false, and I would have been like, boo.
Bet.
I'd be like, boo,
And rightfully
boo,
so.
heart eyes. Yes, yes, no, but they did it right. I just want to wish everybody a happy Valentine's Day. I know it's a 50-50 day, but hopefully for everybody, like either listening or watching, it's 100% day for you.
Yeah, just feel love on yourself, love on the people you want to love, or just stay inside and don't doom scroll. Just
Or
mind your
just watch,
business.
or just watch Claudine or Love Jones, and then everything will be all right.
Better yet, here's what you can do. Go to YouTube, go to Spotify, and watch
Yeah, there you go.
all
Yeah, go watch
episodes.
all these. Just binge all these episodes with a pint of Ben and Jerry's.
That's it. We will be your Valentines. Okay?
Yes, because I love all of y'all. I do. I love all of y'all. I love all. I can't love all of y'all, but I love all of y'all. All right, as you can see, we always got notes and we have lots of notes, but we appreciate y'all for chilling with us, sticking with us. And if you got notes, let us know and check back in next week for our notes on all, and I mean all the latest releases.
Don't forget to subscribe and like the We Got Notes podcast on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you listen to podcasts.